Beginning our day, 3rd of May, Ajahn is leaving to go for some further travels and eventually back to Chithurst. And it's very nice. He's the last of our big Abhayagiri gathering that we were having that is now leaving, going a separate way. So it's been really nice to see everybody, and it's one part of just samagi, what we call communal harmony. And it is good to know that communal harmony is not the goal of Buddhist practice, but it is something that would be pretty hard to get to the goal without it. So when there's not harmony, I think of the original split in the Sangha with the bhikkhus of Kosambi bickering and fighting over some very minor Vinaya point that just seems ridiculous. But then when there's a lot of space and we don't have many distractions, the mind can focus in on these little seemingly inconsequential things. Whereas, you'd be out in the world working your 9-to-5 job and think like, what's the big deal about a water dipper in a toilet? Whether the water dipper is in the water or set off to the side. But then when there's not many distractions, there's not much going on, then the mind can focus in on things like that. For example, my mind was focusing in on the foot water dipper outside. I always take it out of the water and put it next to on that pink wall, because if it just sits in the water, the coconut will rot. But I just do it I do it all the time, but I haven't said anything yet, but now I'm saying something about it. So the water dipper could not be left in the water jar, floating in the water there, left to grow mold and rot. And but it was something like that where there was then a split in the Sangha due to that, and even the Buddha couldn't stop it. And eventually only the lay people were able to curb the minds of the recalcitrant monks because they stopped feeding them. So the lay people stopped feeding those monks, and then those monks were like, all right, well, we better do something or else we're going to have to go somewhere else, or we're going to go hungry. So on the flip side of this, Luang Por Chah would teach that if you practice, the support will come. But we do have to practice, and it's our duty to make the mind as peaceful as possible and to remain in a state of ease and well-being as much as possible. And we can test ourselves and try to do that. How often, how much can we remain in a state of ease, and how deep and sustainable can that state of ease be in the midst of activity, to the point where when we go to meditate, we're just changing postures. We're not thinking, okay, finally, I get to stop doing all this stuff I don't like doing and I get to get back to my meditation, which I do like to do. But at a certain point, it'll just be a change of postures, and then whatever we're doing, it won't really matter so much. It's like Luang Por Liam would talk about, I remember a long time ago being amazed how equanimous he could remain while he was building Dhamma halls and supporting all these branch monasteries. And I viewed him as like someone who works a lot. He's working all the time. And I asked him, how do you remain mindful and equanimous when you're working? And his answer was, if you think of it as work, you're already suffering. If you think of it as work, you're already suffering. So then he doesn't see it as work. He said, and then he goes on to say, well, I just see it as walking meditation. You're just kind of moving the body back and forth. And sometimes you're moving the arms up and down, and that's all. So in his mind, that's what he's doing. But from our perspective, because we still have a worldly perspective, he's working all the time. He's working, he's busy. But in his mind, there's just nothing there. There's nothing like that. There's no suffering. So just to know that that's the Dhamma perspective that we want to be cultivating, that's very important. Then when we cultivate that, then it is just a change of postures, and whatever we do, it's very enjoyable. It's like, oh no, the meal bell rang already, I didn't get to finish this project. But if we think like that, then we're still viewing it as work. But if we think, okay, we just set things down and it's finished for now. And like that fence out there, it looks really great and it could be finished. We still have more to do on it, but even if we left it now, it's okay. So just developing that sense of things are finished in the moment. Also, Ajahn Buddhadasa, there's a story that one time he was building an Uposatha hall, an ordination hall, and it was a huge project. And then at the end of one day, one of the workers, or a layperson, went up to him and said, when is it going to be finished, Ajahn? And he just said, it's finished right now. It's at the end of the day, my mind puts it down completely. It's finished. And tomorrow, if I'm still here, I'll pick it up again, pick it up temporarily. So we pick things up temporarily and then we don't grasp them. Or Ajahn Chah would say it's not that we never pick anything up, but when we pick something up, we pick it up like this with our palm up, not like this with a closed fist tightly down. So you just pick it up very lightly and hold it very lightly, hold it gently, and then you can just lay it down. When the right time to change postures, to lay it down. So that's a good thing to recollect as we go about our day.